Hello and welcome to Alfons Zeilius. We know that Alfons Zeilius joined the NSDAP on 1st of March 1932. How did the other teachers react? What did joining the NSDAP mean? That's what this video is about. According to the history of the Humanistic Grammar School written by retired senior teacher Müller, there were 20 male teachers and 1 female physical education teacher at the Humanistic Grammar School in Neustadt an der Hart during the 1931-1932 school year. A few had joined the NSDAP before 1933, one of whom was Alfons Zeilius. Adolf Hitler had been appointed Reich Chancellor by Hindenburg on 30th of January 1933. Following the Reichstag election on 5th of March 1933, the NSDAP held an absolute majority in the Reichstag and, with the consent of the centrist parties, effectively abolished it through the Enabling Act. There were mass resignations from all other parties, not only from the KPD and the SPD, but also from the Center Party and the other centrist parties. At the same time, hundreds of thousands applied for membership of the NSDAP. The number of NSDAP party members rose from approximately 850,000 in January 1933 to almost 2.5 million in January 1935. In 1933, there were approximately 65.2 million inhabitants in Germany, excluding the Saarland, which was still under occupation in 1933. In December 1934, only around 5.5% of NSDAP members were women. The working population and pensioners, that is people aged 15 and over, numbered approximately 50.8 million at that time. You could join the NSDAP from the age of 18, which also reduces the number of men. This means that almost 1 in 10 men was a member of the NSDAP in January 1935. As we have already heard, civil servants were significantly overrepresented in the NSDAP. The party administration is not only overwhelmed by the large number of membership applications, there are also fears of opportunists seeking only personal gain. The numerous new members are also referred to as March recruits. On 19th of April 1933, the NSDAP leadership imposes an indefinite ban on new membership. From 1st of May onwards, it is no longer possible to join. Exceptions only apply to members of the Hitler Youth and the SA and SS, who have served for a certain period. 1st of May 1933 is celebrated by the National Socialists as National Labor Day. In doing so, the NSDAP appropriates the traditional day of action for the trade unions. Parades and propaganda events take place, including in Neustadt and Kaiserslautern. At these events, many men pose in the uniforms of Nazi organizations. Through these events, the NSDAP prepares for the crushing of the trade unions, which begins the very next day. Just before the deadline, there is a surge in new party members, particularly on this 1st of May. One of them is Karl Nägelsbach, who is a teacher at the Oberrealschule at the time. Wilhelm Kahlenberger, a building officer from Kaiserslautern and future father-in-law of Wilhelm Nägelsbach, Karl's son, does not join the NSDAP. By the end of the war, according to senior teacher Müller, there are 13 male teachers and 1 female teacher working at the grammar school in Neustadt. Of these, 7 are members of the NSDAP, which is just the half. The ban on new members was not relaxed until 1937. Membership thus became something exclusive that one did not simply give up. It was certainly possible to resign from the NSDAP, though not for civil servants. Under Section 4 of the Law for the Restoration of the Professional Civil Service of 7th of April 1933, civil servants who cannot guarantee that they will at all times unreservedly support the national state may be dismissed from service. The state makes active use of this provision. Civil servants who leave the party are dismissed. This makes them vulnerable to blackmail by the party and allows them to be exploited. After the war, Dr. Compter testifies before the Denazification Tribunal that Alphonse Zeilais had been exploited by senior party officials for all manner of tasks, because the bigwigs found the work too much for them. Party membership brought Alphonse Zeilais no advantages whatsoever, but rather hostility, trouble, and vexation. He is vulnerable to blackmail and later bitterly regrets his misjudgment of the NSDAP and his decision to join it. Not joining the party, however, was no great feat. Anyone who had missed the opportunity to join was barred from doing so after 1st of May 1933 until 1937 due to the admission freeze, unless they became involved in the SA or SS. The fact that a significant proportion, 1/3 of teachers in the German Reich became members of the NSDAP, shows that 2/3 resisted the pressure, whether alleged or not. However, 97% of teachers became members of the National Socialist Teachers League. This was compulsory. All civil servants were sworn in personally to Adolf Hitler. According to my research, judging a person's conviction solely on the basis of their memberships falls far too short of the mark. In 1933, there was also a Jewish teacher at the Humanistic Grammar School, Dr. Karl Strauss, a lecturer in mathematics and physics. Was he affected by the National Socialist government? You will find out in the next video.